sand and grind to get the gap set on this particular hood. Being a fiberglass replica, we've got some imperfections. This right here, for example, it's a little bit high on these sides, and I've got it just about adjusted out as much as I can, but I'm hoping it will drop down a little bit once I get these the hood sized a little bit better to fit the hood opening. You'll notice it does not have a hood scoop. It does have the etching for the hole in the hood should I decide to go the gaps on this. The deck lid is going to be an issue. When they made this body, and this I'm not sure if I told you this or not, while it is not the latest serial number of the Hurricane Roadsters, this is the last one that left the Iowa factory before Hurricane closed, sold, and moved to Indiana. And it looks like they might have rushed this deck lid just a little bit. The contour doesn't fit. This is going to take a lot of work, and it might frankly be beyond me, but I'm going to give it a shot. I need to space this up a little bit right here and start setting the gaps here as well. This over here, while it may not look good, if you run your hand around it, it is smooth now. I've got a little bit of sanding to do here, but all of that is knocked down nice and neat now, so this should be good for its first coat of primer as well, which means the hood is about ready for primer too. tell this is a dirty job, but I'm satisfied with where we are. For me, being no more than a novice at body filler and doing body work, I'm pleased with what we've got. Let's take a look. Again, the hood, good to go. Back here on the deck lid, I was able to fill in this just enough where we have a uniform gap now. That is the width of the paint stick. Everything's good. I've got the flaws in the fiberglass taken up here. Once again, when I put the weather strip back on, that'll bring this up and it fits just fine. The cool thing about this is what I've got to do now is I've got to pull all the doors, the deck lid and the hood back off. The doors are going to have to be readjusted, but the hood and the deck lid, the hinges are static, which means all the adjustment is done otherwise. So if I take these off, when I put it back on, theoretically, they should be back where they are with a few minor adjustments. But again, this looks a little low, but with the weather strip, that pushes it up and it's good. We've already confirmed that. I also have filled in all of the imperfections on this. Once I pull this off, I'm going to work on the underside of this lip because we got some glue residue and some other things. But the main thing I wanted to take care of was fill in the gaps between the inner and outer panel that were created when the panel was built. I've got those filled in. Any residual stuff I can take care of with putty because everything's going to be small at that point. But as you can see here, everything looks very good as far as the gaps that were in between the panels. So that is taken care of. All right, we're going to switch gears now. Just a very quick reminder on the body filler on that. On the Cobra, of course, the main buildup is kitty hair, which is technically a filler, but what it is it's fiberglass infused, and it's got long strand fiberglass in it. So it's essentially adding a layer of fiberglass over the top of that, and I'm using the Evercoat to smooth it off. Now the Evercoat I'm laying on thickly and then sanding off because it's the same way I do my welding because I'm still not that great at it. Add a little more than necessary, sand it off. I'm going to be sanding by far the majority of that off, which you will see. But we're going to change gears now and go to this. Managed to take care of it to where this is acceptable and this meets well enough and it's smooth, got a good contour to everything. That's ready. Moving to the other door, which was by far the worst part of it, took a lot of the fiberglass resin to build it up and then finishing it off with kitty hair. You can see the different layers here. This is good. I'm very pleased with how this turned out. You remember it was almost 1/4 of an inch low. Now it fits the contour nicely. Gaps are maintained all the way around. Doors are fitting good, they're opening good, they're closing good, and everything works. The way I maintain this without the filler filling in my gaps, very simple. I used a paint stick covered with masking tape. Since my paint stick is the width I was going for, put that in place, filled it. The paint stick with the masking tape, this does not stick to the masking tape, so I was able to maintain my gaps and then sand it nice and free once everything was done. I realize I cake on the body filler and sand off 90% of it. That is because I'm a novice at this. A professional body man will be much more efficient with the use of his materials and wouldn't have to sand off nearly as much and create as big of a mess. But I'm learning. To me, what matters is the end result, and the end result is that it's fixed. All 4 panels now line up. I have good gaps, maybe not 100% perfect, but again, this was a handmade car originally. So in a way, in a perverted way, I guess, the fact that the gaps are not 100% perfect, but about 90 to 95% there, makes it a little more close to the spirit of the original car. At least that's what I keep telling myself. So what's next? Well, pretty straightforward actually. Next, it's probably going to take a day or two. I've got a weekend coming up I may actually try to start doing on this, but it means covering up stuff, securing the shop and everything, because it means spraying primer. We're going to spray the entire body again with primer. I have invaded some of the area that I did the 220, so we're going to have to go back and block sand that again. Not a problem, it's just certain areas. I'm going to take the panels off using my new hanging stands, hang up the doors, hang up the hood, hang up the trunk lid, and I'm going to add primer to them. Then I start fine tuning the edges of those, get the panels nice and done, and start block sanding them. I'm going to prime them off the car and body work those off the car now. That will also give me time to address this issue. As we open the door, and this is the case on both sides, these need finishing. This will work better off the car. Got to make those look good. I'm going to have a piece of weather strip that goes around that once the car is done. I need to get that a little bit more uniform, stuff like that. That's stuff that's better done with the doors off. But before I did anything else, I wanted to prove to myself that I could get these doors to fit. That fits. Coming over here, which was interesting because this door was not wanting to shut originally. And what I found out, you can see my crude grinding right here, this had a piece of cut fiberglass jutting out and it was not lined up. Once I trimmed that back, the door is shut nice and good. Just like that. And everything lines up. So, once the doors are off, I'm going to fine tune the inner panels as well. That way those are good to go. And while I've got it apart, I'm going to tape off everything, tape up all the holes, tape up everything so the primer doesn't get in where it's not supposed to, and we can do a nice clean job on this. All in all, I'm pleased with the progress that I have made on this car. We are moving forward, and I'm ready to really start body work, getting this thing ready for color. Again, I'm continually going back and forth on what color that I want to do it. I've got it narrowed down to a couple of blues and a couple of greens. I'm not going to say much more on that. We're just going to basically get the body work done, go through that process, and when I get ready to paint it, the world will find out, or whoever's watching this will find out what color I have decided on. I'm pretty much sure that I've gotten it done, but I said that before, I'm indecisive on that. So I will be sure and make a decision, obviously, before I purchase the paint. I'm toying with getting a inflatable paint booth. I've got a big enough shop with enough clearance overhead that I can put it inside so I don't run the risk of having weather move in while I'm getting it done, and that'll give me a secure and sterile area to make the paint done. This is ready for primer, and that is the next step. So I'm going to end this video here. I want to thank you for joining me. Please be sure and hit like and subscribe if you're interested in the content, if you want to see where this Cobra takes us, and we'll see you on the next video.